So today I'm going to show you a treatment that we're doing on Cindy's skin. And I'm firstly going to start by using an exfoliating cleanser. This cleanser's got 15% glycolic acid in, and it helps to already remove the dead skin cells so that when I put the peel on Cindy's skin, we have a really good penetration. The other reason why I'm doing it is also to get an indication of how sensitive Cindy's skin is. Cindy, can you feel any tingling on the skin at this stage?
No, not at the moment.
Nothing. Fantastic. So that tells us that we can go with a fairly strong peel and that Cindy's skin is not too compromised. Once I've worked it into the skin a little bit, I take dry gauze and I then just remove the dead skin cells as well as the cleanser. And the dry gauze is going to help us just to wipe away the dead skin cells that we have actually loosened on the skin itself. And then I'm going to follow that with just some cotton wool that I've wet with nice cool water, because at the end of the day, when we do a chemical peel, we want to make sure that we don't overstimulate that skin. And we can overstimulate that skin by using too much heat on the skin itself. So now that we've made sure that we've removed the cleanser, because also if I leave that on the skin, it will end up irritating Cindy's skin, which again, you do not want to cause. At this stage, we normally do a skin analysis, so we have a look and see what is happening on Cindy's skin. And I'll take you through on what I'm actually noticing. So when I use my magnifying lamp to really help me to see everything I need to, I can see firstly that Cindy's skin is quite dehydrated, so it's lacking moisture. And this is typical in the type of city that she lives in, Joburg. We have a lot of dryness in our environment, so we don't get a lot of moisture. And then I'm also just looking at the skin where we now can see that Cindy's got a little bit of congestion here. And this is predominantly caused by the new masks that we're wearing, because having worked on Cindy's skin before, she doesn't normally get this. Of course, it is vital to remove blackheads. And so I'm going to now do some extractions on Cindy's skin before we move on to the peel. So I'm going to use some tissues. This makes it more hygienic. And of course, we use gloves and I have my mask on. And I'm just going to do small little extractions wherever I can see blackheads. We're going to get those little guys out. If we don't remove blackheads on the skin, those can often become the pimple that we want to get rid of at the end of the day. So I'm just going to give a squeeze. Sometimes here at the corners of the nose, you get quite a bit of congestion and it's difficult to get these out, especially if you even try at home. So we're just going to give a squeeze. Now we never want to force anything out and actually cause any damage on Cindy's skin. So we're very gentle. And especially on a darker skin, it is important to not cause too much stimulation or too much inflammation, because we can possibly trigger what we call post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And we can see that there's some of these little pimples that has actually left a little dark mark already. But not to worry, we've got some great products with some really nice brightening ingredients in. And those brightening ingredients can get rid of that for us. Now, when the skin is dehydrated as well, it's not always easy to get extractions out. So again, we can't force, but we do want to give enough push to make sure we can get as much out as possible. So there was a little whitehead we got out there. And again, you don't want to cause inflammation. So be gentle on the skin where you can be. And if often a lesion is quite inflamed, we might even use a lancet just to prick it, just to open it, so that we can get the contents out quickly without causing too much inflammation on the skin. Most of these little guys are coming out though, even considering that Cindy's skin is quite dehydrated. And the peel I'm going to use on Cindy's skin today will actually have some hydration benefits for her skin with some lactic acid. Lactic acid is also good to create a nice even skin complexion. In this peel, there's also some salicylic acid, and salicylic acid is great for these little guys. It's got extra oil in, so for the pimples, for the blackheads, especially the ones that we cannot get out, that's actually going to go into the pore. And salicylic acid finds oil like a magnet, and it's just attracted to it. It goes right down into the base of the follicle or the pore, and then it gets rid of that oil buildup deep down where we obviously can't get with our hands necessarily. And then just looking at the other side, some people get a lot of breakouts on one particular side of their skin, and that's often caused by talking on your cell phone and favoring one side, or if you sleep, that you always sleep on the one side of your face. That's, of course, then also where we can have wrinkle formation later on in life.
Oh, my word, Sandy.
I'm sorry, Sims, sharing all the scary stuff with you.
Yep.
But your skin is looking good. So one thing that I can say here, that there's no premature aging on your skin. So that is phenomenal. These little breakouts are just because I haven't seen you for a little bit, but also from the mask. It's a very strange thing now to be wearing on our faces. We're not used to it. And as I mentioned earlier to you, we've even got a term now called maskne, which means it's mask acne that's being formed. Now, the nice thing is, looking at your skin, you definitely don't have maskne. But there are, of course, irritation that's being caused by the mask. A few things you can do with your mask is to make sure that you wash it every day. It's also nice if you use a disposable. You can just throw that away on a daily basis.
I was about to ask, actually, which ones are much better? Do you think the disposable or the cloth mask?
You know, the material itself won't actually cause more irritation. So there's not one that I would say is better than the other. First prize would be that you could just use a visor. But here in South Africa, they don't always let you into the stores if you just have a visor. So by using a mask, I would say if it's a material mask, get a few so you can wash it and use a clean one every day. For those people that are acne prone, I would actually recommend that they use a little bit of Milton, you know, that you sterilize baby bottles with.
Yes.
And you could even soak your mask in a bit of Milton to make sure that there's no bacterial growth on the mask itself. So every day use a clean mask, you know, whether it is a disposable one that you throw away or whether it is material ones, get a few so you can wash them. You know, there's no way getting away from it. Unfortunately, it's going to take some time for our skins to get used to this new friction and this rubbing. So now that we've done the extractions, I'm just going to wipe Cindy's skin again, just with some cotton wool that I'm just going to wear. And I just want to make sure that if there's any remaining of blackheads that I've extracted, we get that off the skin. It's not nice to leave that on. There won't be any spreading of infection because there wasn't any pussy pimples here, but that's obviously something that we need to consider. Okay.
That was not painful, eh?
Was it
done so well? No, it wasn't.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
It's my favorite part.
The extractions. Listen, all us girls love extractions.
I know.
And boys don't particularly like
Really?
it. No. Guys would kind of like, can we just leave it in? And we're like, hell no, we've got to take it out. I'm going to give you a fan, Cindy, if you can hold that for me. There we go. Now, the reason I give Cindy a fan is it makes the peel feel a little bit more tolerable on the skin. Because we're actually getting that stimulation from the peel itself. But the fan almost feels like it alleviates that itching sensation that you get. So before I start applying my mask, I then set my timer, because this actual peel is time dependent, so the longer it stays on, the deeper it works. We normally start and work it on the T-zone, which is oilier, but if there was a certain area that was more problematic, I would also start there. So this is like a gel. It's quite easy to see if your room has got nice lights in, and we're just applying it as quick as possible. And what Cindy will feel now is like an itching, burning sensation. What are you feeling?
Itching.
Is it itchy? Okay. So here we've got a 50% glycolic acid in, we've got salicylic acid, we've got a 10% lactic acid, and this is going to help with the congestion. It's going to hydrate Cindy's skin, but also on a much deeper cellular level. So I always say to people, after you've had this peel, my skin takes about a week, and then my skin looks really amazing. So give this a week before you really got to see the brand new skin cells that are so well hydrated.
Can't wait.
You're going to love your skin afterwards, since I know.
It's
When you
really
look at your
good.
skin and it's like, oh, it's so dull. What have I done?
I know.
It needs some love. Putting a little bit extra peel just on the cheeks where we had that congestion. And now we're just going to wait. So as I said, it's time dependent. We have about 30 seconds left, and then we are going to start to neutralize this peel and remove this from Cindy's skin. So as you can see, there's no irritation, there's no redness, there's no extreme burning since it's feeling good on your skin.
Yeah, it's alright.
Okay.
It's mild.
Obviously, it is itchy, so we don't want Cindy to be scratching it though.
I'm not scratching. I'm tempted, but I'm not going to do it.
No. So I think that's a great thing about the fan. It keeps your hands busy as well.
That's true.
But here we go. We're almost done. That's it. That's the timer. So first I'm going to take cotton wool that's fairly wet. So since I'm going to dry you afterwards, just bear
Okay.
with me.
Alright.
And I've tried many different techniques when it comes to neutralizing peels. And obviously doing these peels myself, I have tried it. And this I find works the best. So I like to neutralize it first with water. At this stage, there's a chemical reaction that's taking place where we're now taking these acids and we're turning them into harmless salts. So at this stage, Cindy can feel a little bit more tingling, bit more itching.
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel that, Cindy?
Yes.
Yeah. Because of this chemical reaction that is happening. Now you need to work quite firm and quite fast. There's nothing relaxing about having a chemical peel, by the
No.
way, in an aesthetic center, but the results are really amazing. And some people can actually couple this with like a facial. So you can have a facial and 2 weeks later come and have a chemical peel. You know, the facial is obviously nice because it's so relaxing on the skin.
But would you recommend that? Like, to be honest with you, I want results.
You know what? The thing is yes. I think, you know, when you have really good skin and you don't have to worry too much, then a facial is fantastic because you get the relaxation.
That's
But if you truly need to make a change to the skin, like now you're worried a bit about the breakouts, the dehydration, your skin just needs a boost, then this is obviously the best result. I like this also for busy moms, which I know
Yes.
you are, with your little
Absolutely.
ones. You need some time, you know, to look after yourself, but you don't have a lot of time to look after yourself. That's the scary stuff about a working
Yes.
mom. So this is great because a treatment, literally your whole visit will be half an hour. That's looking at the skin, doing extractions, having your peel, making your next booking, all done in half an hour. So it really fits into a mom's busy schedule.
Exactly what we need, Sonia.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me, since is it starting to feel better now?
Much better.
Good.
Way better.
Way better. Fantastic. I'm so glad. And already I can see a brightness in the skin coming through.
Thank goodness.
And it's interesting because as I'm wiping, I also can see some superficial dead skin cells coming up
Really?
already. Yeah, which is amazing. So there was definitely an overcapping of dead skin cells. And we just needed to get deep in there to get rid of them. So nice and firm again, just making sure we get this off. And it's important that my room is nice and bright so I can see if there's any area where we have some more peel left on Cindy's skin.
I'll go burn in the car.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want you to be catching a lot
No,
there.
no.
I'm going to take the fan from you, Cindy.
I'm alright.
Tell me, is there any area that's tingling more?
No.
No, it's all good.
All cleaned
So,
up.
all cleaned up, it feels good, and all is even, the tingling. Now that's important because if there's an area that's tingling more, then that tells me that that area has got some more peel still left.
Yeah.
Cindy will experience a slight stimulating feeling, so it almost feels like there's something happening, something active happening in her skin, even 30 minutes after she's had this peel. Now I'm putting a very nice hydrating serum with lots of hyaluronic acid in, a little bit of vitamin C in, and this you can see I'm really layering this on, giving a lot of hydration. I'm even putting it on the eyelids, and that's another tip, girls, is don't be scared to put products on your eyes, obviously the right products. Now, I like the range that I'm using here because the moisturizer could often be used as an eye cream as well. Again, it's great for your budget when you're on a tight budget, but also for busy moms, as I know Cindy is, she doesn't have a lot of time to faff around in the day.
Hate fapping.
Absolutely. And I think modern girls, we just don't have that time anymore.
No.
How is this feeling, Sins?
Not feels right.
Good. I can already see that glow is coming back to your skin.
Sunny, this is how I need to look. January to December. To be honest. How often should I have this treatment though?
So this treatment I recommend every 4 weeks.
Okay.
Once we got your skin to the level that you like it, then we can stretch it to every 6 weeks.
Okay.
You know, and I think it's very doable because it's quick and it's easy, and it's just putting it in the calendar and making sure you've got it booked.
Okay.
I'm now putting a really nice anti-aging hydrating moisturizer on for you. This is specifically to be used after our peel. And what it actually does is it hydrates. It's got some shea butter in to give you that nourishment. It's got some vitamin C and E in to help restore and heal the skin afterwards. And then it's also got a 3% peptide complex in that is anti-aging.
Sure.
But it's still nice and light. So even on those areas where you do have that little bit of excess oil in the pores, where we have the, little bumps, it's going to at least not make that worse. Your skin should feel really hydrated
I
now.
wanted to say that I feel so hydrated. Like I
Hydrated.
just, gave
Wonderful.
myself some water.
Wonderful. And then it is important for Cindy to leave the treatment room with a sun protection factor on. We cannot let her leave here without any sun protection. And the reason being, whenever you use hydroxy acids on the skin, you actually can make the skin more photosensitive, right? Which means, let's say it takes Cindy 10 minutes to burn, it's now going to take her 5 minutes to burn. So according to the Food and Drug Administration, at least a week after you've had a chemical peel or used hydroxy acids on your skin, you need to use a sunscreen to protect yourself. With Cindy living in South Africa, and for our darker skins, our Fitzpatrick phototype 5 and 6, we know that sun protection is vital. As much as the darker skin is better protected against the sun, you can very quickly get that hyperpigmentation. And you've seen that in certain areas, the areas that's been exposed to sun, that actually goes darker versus areas that's not been exposed to sun.
That's so true.
So Cindy is now 100% protected. Her skin is looking beautiful, it's looking radiant. You can even see that on the video. And so I'm going to give Cindy a product now that she's going to use afterwards, like a post-peeling moisturizer, just to comfort her skin, because the skin will become quite dry for a few days because it's the dead skin cells being pushed off. And then in about a week from today, Cindy's beautiful new skin will be revealed.
I'm excited.
I'm so glad, Cindy.
Thanks, honey.